you are live. It's telling me I am live. Let's see if that is true. Let's see what the people have to say. All right, my friend. 94 viewers waiting. People want the SPAC, man. People want the SPAC, man. Right. I think we're live, baby. If we're live, drop us a message in the chat, my friends. Drop us a message in the chat, my friends. Let's get some love for Jmac straight off the bat. Yeah, Lego. Hey, yeah, there's people in here. Upset Tunic. What's happening, my friend?
What's going on? Yeah, I just double checked it too. Yeah, I got audio. We're good. We're live.
We got audio. We're good. We're live. Let's go. Let's go. So, guys, I know usually I spend like 99% of the stream just reading your comments. Yeah, we want the SPAC man. Connor invested in here, but today obviously we have a special guest on the channel. Okay, we got the SPAC man. We got Jmac investing. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be aware of who this man is. Awesome investor, another YouTuber, great guy. This man knows a lot, okay? He's probably going to make me seem a little bit silly in today's live stream, but I'm okay with that. You know, I'm fine with that. But we're bringing him onto the channel. We're going to have a chat. It's not structured. You know how we do on this channel. We just have a good time, people. So I might not get to see all of the comments in today's video, but we'll definitely open up the comment section to questions as time goes on. Yeah, I'm already seeing the comments here, man. Give us good news. People want good news. But I suppose, man, I'm going to open the floor up to you. I mean, what do you want to say to the people? There's 200 in here already. We'll see how many join up. But do you want to just give them a brief understanding of what you do, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm Jason. My channel is Jmac Investing. Kind of over the course of the last 6 months or so, I dug deep into SPAC investing and the whole SPAC niche. And so over that course of time, got donned the Spacman. So I run with that, and I got some merch. Like you got merch, I got Spacman merch. I just ran with it. I like it. It's cool. But so I morphed from a dividend growth investor to SPAC investing. You know,
me too, baby. Me too. I'm not pure SPAC yet, but a lot of my choices are. You know what's cool as well is your name's Jmac. I just realized that's four letters, baby. That could be its own SPAC someday. You know what I mean?
I've gotten that before too. Yeah, for sure.
But lots to speak about. You keep going.
I was gonna say, and I shared this out on all my platforms as well. So I'm seeing a lot of my Discord folks and stuff, which I think we share a lot of the same audience already, because a lot of my guys and then over on my Discord, so I guess I don't know, because I haven't joined many other Discords or other Patreons, but I guess some people are anti. If they're a YouTuber, they don't want other people sharing other people's YouTubers. Yeah. I welcome. I tell people, if it's a good content, feel free to share it. If it's on a if it's a channel about EVs, then share Jack stuff. So because I'm a big fan of yours as well. I've watched your evolution and have been, and also you've been very inspirational, I think, for a lot of up and coming YouTubers as well. Just on your growth, on your consistency, on on a lot of things, but I also think you have kind of opened up a new venue maybe for international YouTubers, in the in stock market as well, because you connect US, international, all across the board. So it's been cool watching you.
Yeah, no, there's so many US out there, I think that helped me. People saw a different accent on YouTube. They're like, what is going on? But I think we've both been through a very similar journey already. Then I suppose you said you started off as a dividend investor. I did as well, and I quickly transitioned. I'm not necessarily focused on SPACs. Like, growth is my goal, but just I see so many great SPACs. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not looking for them, but they just keep showing their faces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're trying to just open up the YouTube world. I mean, I think that's something all of us want to do, is encourage more people to actually do this. People seem to think that all of us YouTubers hate each other. You know what I mean? But I mean, most of us speak. Most of us around the same channel, so I speak anyway. But I suppose as the SPAC man, there's a few things. I think a lot of people will know you for Hyliion in particular. I think you've had some really big videos. You interviewed Thomas Healy. That was an awesome one. I think that's nearly 50K views now, so congrats on that one. But I suppose Hyliion's at 39.50 right now. I have that on the screen here. What do you think of this whole situation, bro?
I mean, here's the way I kind of address it and in comments that come in through my channel and the different platforms I'm on as well. You know, so these SPACs, they're still a part of the stock market, the broader market, and so we're really in a fairly negative sentiment environment right now. Like, I mean, you know, we've been sort of on a decline for a couple of weeks from the you know, NASDAQ big tech sell off for a while, and then just, you know, I mean, you get hit with news like, you know, the president of the United States on Friday on the day that they're merging. You know, it's like, you know, they're still, even though, you know, this is, you know, probably the biggest SPAC to hit and merge, you know, that is, people are very, very confident about, and I'm still very confident about it. You still have to, you can't just expect it to magically go up just because through osmosis. You know, if this was a market environment that had really, really good sentiment, then I think it would have done what a lot of people thought it would do. Yes. You know, but it's still not immune to negative sentiment, and that's right now I think the prevailing you know, why it didn't run up. And but you can also look at the patterns of some of these SPACs like DraftKings and Nikola Motors. They also didn't fly on day one. It was with Nikola, it was about a week later. With DraftKings, it was about a month later.
Yes. We'll speak about Nikola as well.
yeah. I think that really that kind of broke me into SPACs was Nikola and VTIQ. Yeah. So that was because that was my first day one video drop of a SPAC announcing. Yeah. And I didn't even really know what it was at that time. It was just like, there's this cool looking Badger truck type company that whatever, you know. I was like, I mean, I'll make a video about it. And so, and I invested the same day into Nikola. But yeah, we could talk a little while about that. But
we'll go on to Nikola later. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I think that was the same for a lot of people. I think that was a lot of our first SPACs. You know what I mean? It really was. And that's why people expected crazy things to happen. And I think Nikola did both amazing and terrible things for SPACs all at the same time. Because I mean, there was a stage a few months ago, in fairness, but everybody thought if there was a SPAC, you invest in it, you are making money. And everybody thought it really was that simple. But I mean, we've seen it since. There's one I want to speak about. I see Sony message in the chat, CCXX later on, a SPAC dipping below $10. Wow, how does this happen? It's incredible. But people are starting to realize the SPACs aren't just easy money. You know what I mean? You're still investing in a company at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But I agree with what you're saying in regards to Hyliion. I mean, the market's in a terrible place. The market sentiment in general, it's not just Hyliion. And as well, if you look at the EV market, I mean, that's what we speak about on this channel more than anything. The EV market was horrific last week. You know what I mean? Now, Hyliion, weirdly enough, potentially underperformed even compared to some others. But still, I mean, I can't see it all as being their fault. And as you said with Nikola, it wasn't when they closed, it was the following week. You know, so I'm optimistic coming into Monday. How would you feel coming into Monday?
Well, you know, they I mean, Thomas Healy tweeted 3 times in a day, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling like we're gonna get some news next week. And then on Monday they'll be ringing the bell, which so first day Monday morning, they're ringing the bell. So and that'll get them that'll hopefully kick off the week right for Hyliion.
Yeah.
You know, and then like you said, hopefully we'll get a couple announcements because, you know, so one thing is for sure, you know, I mean, I covered it in one of my videos that really went under the radar was, you know, because, you know, Tesla, anything they do gets covered by hundreds of channels, right? But, you know, so the Hyliion has had Hypertruck ERX reservations open for a few months now, right? And they've never talked about it, never discussed it, you know? So, I mean, just think if we could get some numbers on the Hypertruck ERX, how many have been reserved so far? Anything like that kind of news would make this thing fly.
Definitely. And that reminds me of Lordstown Motors, the EPHC. Because I remember I followed these guys. I invested in them like you did with Nikola the day they went public the day they announced the SPAC at 1180. I got in, and for the longest time, the number of pre-orders we had was 27,000. And in one of my videos, now we know it's over 40,000. But in one of my videos, I actually said that number, 40,000. I said they're not a publicly traded company. We don't know everything that's happening. Even with the publicly traded companies, we only find out every 3 months. You know what I mean? So that is definitely something that I expect to be going on with Hyliion right now. And like you said, I don't think enough people are appreciating that. And that's part of investing in SPACs. I think people are going to have to learn you have to be patient with these guys. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's still even like I think of, and also like understanding the, you know, if you really get into the structure of how the transaction was set up when they signed the definitive agreement with the SPAC. The SPAC's the IPO. And then, you know, they're the company that's coming public from private to public via a merger. So there's a deal that is pinned out, and it's, you know, and you can go to that and you can see the finite details of, like, for instance, Velodyne LiDAR and their deal, the pipe shares were allowed to hit the market day one, and they were selling at 1890, right? So that's why it tanked, because shares were selling at 1890 straight away. With Hyliion, they have up to 30 days, but it's going to happen as well. You're going to have pipe shares that are going to come on the market. So all these things you should be aware of if you're investing into SPACs. Is, you know, there's a whole a whole lot of information. It didn't just wow, look, it's a hype play. It's a hype company. There's some things you should probably be aware of when investing into these. So it's not a surprise when, you know, they're volatile. It's a volatile play.
And the pipe in particular is something that I don't think enough people even realize. You know, we're looking at it and we're looking at this pipe at $10. We're thinking, well, that's going to equal to this really big market cap once the merger goes through. But then you realize it's actually going to potentially draw down the share price temporarily at the very least. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just another aspect of the facts.
Yeah, and some people are to, you know, it seems like any uncertainty they sell off, you know. But I know I watched enough of you to know that, you know, I mean, here's my thing with that, you know, like my entry on a lot of Hyliion is $14 or, you know, $14 or $15. If I sold, you know, you could sell in and out, right? But I will never be able to get a $14 entry again on Hyliion, right?
Exactly.
So I like to keep that in my. I like to be able to look at my account and see that $14. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm not selling in and out of them. You know. So.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think that's cool as well, and I think that's one of the things that I actually went through in my video earlier with Hyliion. I wasn't like you. I was a little bit late to the party, but I bought in right here on this beautiful spike on the screen. I bought in at $30 a share, but then I bought lots down here. You know what I mean? I bought a lot more, so I got my cost basis down to $20.98. So it was still decent, and it's still at a stage where, you know, pretty much no matter what happens, my money's safe. You know, you're not going to lose that much whatsoever. And I think this will be a whole topic. But in regards to SPACs, for me in general, I know you're the SPAC man. You play them very differently to me at times, but if I'm investing in a SPAC, it still is with the hopes of being a long-term investor. So to me, I've said with Hyliion, to me, it is a long-term investment. I said if we hit $70 right about here, post-merger, I was going to sell out, just take the money, invest into my next SPAC that I liked. But since that hasn't happened, you know, like at the snap of fingers, I plan on going long. So in regards to Hyliion, are you a long-term investor? And then we'll speak about your general SPAC intentions.
Yeah, you know, we touched on this a little bit briefly before the stream, but so even that's why people ask me in some of my, you know, videos and things, and I'm like, you know, my strategy evolves and changes really over time. So it's really, you know, even in my Discord, you know, it becomes a topic we talk about a lot. It just changed, and it really is, for me, it's almost SPAC by SPAC, you know, on a SPAC by SPAC basis. There are a handful of SPACs that I'm going to go long on, but in most cases, it won't be all of my shares. There will be some profit taken. Okay. But then there are some where it's 100%. I'm just trying to get the best cost basis so that it's just a trade, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So there are some trades. Now with Hyliion, yes, I'm definitely staying long on. I've got a number on the amount of shares and warrants that I want to keep, and exercise some warrants even on some Hyliion. So just a couple just off the top that I know right now that I even mentioned to you. But so ChargePoint, SBE, and Hyliion, those are two that I'm for sure going to keep some shares long term.
Cool, nice one, love that. I suppose while we're speaking about Hyliion, there's always, this as a YouTuber as well, there's always the question, would you buy now? And it's so hard to answer that question because we have our cost basis. We bought literally in June, a very long time ago. And I got a lot of hate when I was saying, when they were $50, $55 here, I said, I don't think they're a particularly good buy. You know what I mean? And since then we have dipped back a little bit. In my last Hyliion video, I said, from a long-term perspective, I think we may be somewhere around a relatively fair price. Like, I wouldn't be ecstatic buying at 40, given the history of where I've bought. But what do you actually think about current price? Say if somebody wants to dollar cost average up, down, or open a position for the first time. We'll spend a bit of time on Hyliion because obviously it's massive right now.
Yeah, it's the most popular. Yeah. In my opinion, when that question came up, I would typically, and it was in 40s or 50s, I would usually say maybe look at the warrants because the warrants were undervalued. And that's only if you have the I call it risk tolerance, but to me they're just as safe as the shares. Once it's a pretty much a sure thing that they're going to merge, that it's basically shares. So they've always been sort of discounted, but what? I started to get tempted at when it went under 40 here.
Yeah.
I would not be opposed to saying that I would buy under $40. If anywhere in the 30s, I would maybe buy more Hyliion, me personally.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
I think you got resistance right there. If you look at the minute multiple points is hitting right there. Yeah,
that's what I was saying in that last video as well. I'm not a chart guy, I'm not a technical analysis guy, but
not really.
It's quite clear. We have this range that we've traded in on multiplications. A breakout could be coming. It could be a good buying opportunity. But even I did honestly consider buying more at 40. But we'll see what next week has to bring us. But as well, actually, complete another speculation here. Behind Thomas Healy, it says customers. I know I've gotten so many comments about this. I mean, I don't pay much attention to this, but what do we think of this, Mr. Spacman? Does this mean anything to us?
Yeah, well, that's what we're waiting on. We want to hear the who's. You saw also even Wegmans, which is a grocery chain. They announced that they're partnered with Hyliion already. Without they initiated to announce that already. So I mean, I think a lot of it seems like some diggings of some. Me and some of the my Discord members, some of the digging we found was that like the former CEO of Publix, which is another grocery chain, they're heavily invested into Hyliion as well, and there was one other company that is also invested that you could just start connecting the dots that these are going to be either partnerships or customers of Hyliion.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I think, we do a lot of connecting the dots on this channel. Workhorse is my main baby, and there is literally nothing but connecting the dots with that company. Do you have any interest in Workhorse? Have you looked into them much?
I mean, I've swing traded Workhorse all the way up a couple times, and we, if you look, so Mike the Hunter is in your chat right there. He's a big Workhorse bull. There's a few. We've got an EV channel on my Discord, and we joke. We're running jokes about Workhorse. I post the little pony gifs, and they And so I mean, but I know it's that was an easy one to swing trade and get in and out and make money on the volatility. So I played it up on the big from that big huge pump, the first one there. Not that one, the way back when.
Oh, this bad boy.
I played that one pretty. I made some good money there.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
But but for me, it was just I had many other things, and usually it'll be like some new SPAC will come, and I'm like, I can't hold too many other positions because I want to do the SPAC. So it's not that I'm anti Workhorse, because I'm also a pretty big fan of Lordstown Motors, so the connections there, as well.
We'll definitely chat about these bad boys, but I have to ask about Workhorse. I mean, that's my channel in a nutshell. But so he basically just swung it up and down as time has gone on.
When was your first time buying Workhorse? When did you buy initially?
Back here, my first cost basis was just sub $15. So yeah, I wasn't one of these people, sadly. It was actually, Workhorse was kind of my first time really taking a growth stock seriously. So like, regardless of what happens with Workhorse, it's a stock that has definitely completely shaped me going forwards as an investor. And I mean, the hours I've put into this company, I literally, it will stand with me researching going forward. You know what I mean? It was the 4th of July, I think, was the first Workhorse video I made. So right about here was I caught the hype bandwagon. You know what I mean? I wish I got in here, but no, right now I bought 14s, 15s, 17s. I even bought more on this big dip here. I bought at 24. So yeah, I'm definitely long on the company, but you probably know that as it is.
Yeah, right. Nice.
I think the next one, this is what I see in the chat the most right now. Okay, CCXX. Okay, the SPAC, man, you got some explaining to do. How can a SPAC go under $10? You know, you got
the only way that happens. Here's the only way that happens. It happens on those are margin calls. So these are people that were overextended, and margin calls got them because SPACs don't sell under $10. But it's some of these people that are overextended margin, they got caught. That's how you explain that, because no one in their right mind would sell under $10 because you know what I mean. That's what the value. Yeah. That's what the value of the stock is.
I was looking at it and I was like, that's. I've seen smarter things. Basically, I've seen smarter things happen.
Yeah. So that's what that was. So people being overextended during this recent pull down got caught, and their brokers sold some shares for them at whatever price it was, market price.
They didn't care. Any interest in the company?
This is a one as well that it's a controversial one, and I've had a running joke that it's flatlined the whole time, but it's. I mean, I'm like you. I did a video. I did an initial video on it because this is one that has no hype. It has no retail hype on. But it is, I mean, it's the biggest SPAC that is ever, market cap wise, that is ever going public. So this one, I think this is one that, if you bought at 11 or 12, just hold it. And, it'll get back there as soon as it merges, because institutional investors will probably love this one. Like the Warren Buffett types, I could see him buying this actually. So, So I'm not real heavy on this. I do have some warrants on this, and I'm way on. I'm in the red for sure, on just like everybody else with CCXX.
About right here at the very tip top. The tip top's not that far away from the bottom though. So
exactly. It'll get back there soon. I mean, this is a company that I could see it being a $20 stock, and pretty quick, depending on the market sentiment again.
Yeah,
if we get back into a bull run, this is a company that should go to $20.
I agree completely. It's not sexy. That's the way I've been describing it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, people look at SPACs, and all the SPACs are sexy. I mean, we've Lordstown Motors especially. They're very exciting right now, all things considered. Hyliion has always been exciting. Nikola, as much as we don't speak about Nikola, they were always very exciting. They were the first one that a lot of people got interested in. You know what I mean? But I mean, this isn't cool. This isn't the fun thing to invest in. This isn't what a lot of us people who are chasing fast gain look at. But this even piqued my interest. You know what I mean? And I think I bought at 11.20 or 11.30. If anybody from the Discord's in the chat, they can probably tell us. But I think I'm 150 shares deep. But at these prices, I definitely see this as more of a long-term hold than nothing else. I'm worried about it being dead money for a while, but unless something shows up that I really want to invest in, I'm not going to be too stressed. I'll just leave the money sit there for a bit. You know what I mean?
Right. So I guess if someone wants to do some homework, I'll give you an example of a company that is very similar to came via SPAC. Open Door Lending. I don't know the ticker symbol, but if you look at Open Door Lending, it was the same type of similar situation while it's SPAC'd. And now look at it. I think it's selling at 25, 22. Okay. You can check it if you want to. It'll be a very interesting one because it's a successful post-merger SPAC.
Open Door Lending, is it?
Yeah. Stock.
We'll see. Open Door stock.
Yeah.
This is the one you're bringing the true. There we are. This is surely it.
Yeah.
Is this it? The good Tokyo?
Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I find it.
I mean, they are up on the 5-year chart. That's nice. LCA as well. Actually, I definitely need to get your thoughts on LCA.
You know, I got them twisted up. I'm actually calling out the wrong one. I don't know what it is. There's another one that's similar. It's a lender. It's a lending company.
Yeah.
That anyway, so that's a bad example. Sorry about that.
That's what I thought. We would talk about IPOB, but I was like, that doesn't sound like IPOB.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Right, LCA. This is one I get asked about so much, and I just haven't really kept up to date with them. Like, I barely kept up to date with them whatsoever. So I mean, I don't know if you were interested in these guys, if you're involved.
Yeah, I'm invested in it.
You're invested.
It's a very misunderstood as well company because people ask for updates all the time, and they're absolutely there is no updates really because basically, so this guy Tillman Fertitta, he owns tons of restaurants and casinos and whatever, and then this is the part of his casino setup was that he had these the online gaming part of his casinos, and so basically the pandemic, all of his companies were struggling, so he took and this was one of the only parts of his business that was making a lot of money, and so it's a billionaire move. He owned the SPAC, so he created the IPO. He IPO'd the SPAC, and then he owned the company that he's merging with to raise money. So and this is why it gets hated on, and it gets people are like, but the way I kind of detail it to people is like, this guy's just moving some capital around, and you're just going to be a beneficiary of this being a growth play, the only growth part of his company right now.
Yeah,
and the new, like, if you look at like I said, the only updates that have happened with this is that every once a month, New Jersey drops their revenue numbers from online gaming and gambling. Yeah. And Golden Nugget Online has been dominating the online gaming scene in New Jersey, which is the biggest gambling state in the U.S. Yeah. And I mean, it's just been, it's been a cash cow, making money hand over fist. So I think this one will pop pretty hard when it merges.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because that's kind of where I've stood. It's like there hasn't been much to keep up to date with. There hasn't been much to keep up to date with. You know what I mean? It's like we all did our initial research back here. We all decided, we have some nice growth potential. We bought wherever we did between 11 and 14, more than likely. And that's been it. And unless you decided to take your profit up here somewhere, it's still just a matter of holding. It's still a matter of believing in your initial, I suppose, thesis.
Right.
They haven't been crazy. Oh, actually, I see one. Two I would like to speak to you about, okay? Because these are two that are SPACs that I'm not interested in personally, so I'd like to get a different opinion. So we'll start off with HCAC.
Is that Hennessy?
Yeah, Hennessy, Canoo.
So Canoo, yeah. Canoo, my initial thoughts were the same, I think, as that you devised when I I'm like you. I'm not really technical, not super technical, like on charts and stuff. I'm more instinctual, and business, business model, fundamentals of the business, what it could be, what it could become. And if I were to, and I'm thinking about actually doing it, if I were to create like some SPAC metrics, I would have like a hype as the hype level as literally you should put that as a metric of SPACs, so this one initially I was very turned off by it. Was like, no, this is a no for me. But this is a SPAC that has taken the criticism and the feedback, and they're sort of rebranding, and it's starting to actually kind of look like they're redoing their business model, and now I'm more interested into it, and I've taken a position and some warrants into it. So it's kind of grown on me. This is a SPAC that, and that's the thing. Some people like they dump on you if you have a negative opinion on a stock. But listen, guys, Jack and me, we're trying to figure out, just like y'all are, about these companies, and we might have a knee-jerk reaction about a company, and our opinion can change. You know what I mean? Just like you are. So
I'm going to understand. I mean, at the end, like, we're just people. We're just like anybody watching this right now. We're trying to find good stocks to invest in, and things change. You know what I mean? Fundamentals change sometimes. Business models change. And your opinions allowed to change alongside that. But yeah, I just wanted to ask because I didn't really keep up to date with them since. So yeah, if that's your opinion, I might have to have a little second look into these guys because I do start to see more comments about them lately. There seems to be a few people quite bullish on them. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a cool business idea, you know. It is, and I do see the market for it. My main concern from the start was just, is it going to be a big enough market? You know what I mean? That was my main concern from day one. But maybe it will be. Maybe it will be.
Yeah, with the skateboard thing, and I mean, and like, if you know, like, for real, if Hyundai it winds up bringing on EVs using this skateboard platform, you know, then yeah, I mean, I could definitely get behind it. If there's a big auto manufacturer like that's actually buying and using their, you know, that platform, then, you know, it could be something good. So I'm still, like I said, I took a small position into it just in case it does go crazy or something, that merger, but it's not a big.
It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, it's almost at 10 again, right? So
yeah, exactly. That's cool. All right, and then the second one, SPAC. So SPAQ.
Yeah, this will be one where it's this is one where I'm playing the hype game on it. This will be one where it's you know, it's a Nikola Motors type play where
we'll get on to them next.
Yeah, where the you know, the CEO, he's you know, he's super out there in the public and tweeting all the time, and you know, but at the same time, he also is a guy who, you know, was sort of a pioneer in the EV space. So I mean, even though it was a failed venture that went under, but I mean, in every type of new market that occurs, you know what I mean? Like, people try and fail, and there was no tech back then. There was no battery tech. There were no, you know, all the things that are available to companies to start up now, just like these skateboards. Who would have thought that, you know, 15 years ago, that you could just buy a platform and put your shell of a vehicle on top of that, and you got an EV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so I mean, I'm definitely, I'm kind of heavy on SPAC because I think it could be a one that goes kind of bananas at merger.
But you're playing market sentiment. You're playing people. You're playing the hype. You know what I mean? That's kind of the main goal with SPAC. Yeah, I think people need to understand that there's a difference, especially, like, there's numerous types of ways to invest, and genuinely playing hype is one of them. I mean, look at Nikola yet again. That was nothing but hype. You know what I mean? It literally was. It was a definition of a hyped up stock.
If it's called, I'm starting to learn. Basically, you know, a lot of these companies are what they call pre-revenue. They're basically startups. I mean, they're just concepts. You know what I mean? So
20-year-old startups.
You're investing in some ideas and a concept and philosophies. You know what I mean? And maybe in some cases a little bit of intellectual property, some you know what I mean, some patents. Right? That's all it is. So it's like the Shark Tank. Do you think this is going to be something cool or good? It has the potential. Yeah, possibly. All right, cool. I'll throw some dollars at it. That's all it is, you know.
I respect that. I think that's cool to hear, because I think a lot of people invest like that but aren't willing to admit it. Like, that's a very fair game. That's a very fair thing to play, you know. And I think all of us have done it. But there's so many people who they're investing off hype, but they will fight to the death about the company at the same time. Whereas at the end of the day, they don't care too much. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But wait, while we're here, while I have Nikola on the screen, I think we're going to have to speak to the SPAC man about Nikola, okay? Because I know you probably made a lot of money off these guys, to be fair as well. But you are one of the very few YouTubers to actually interview Trevor Milton. I'll see if I can get that video on the screen right now.
Yeah.
But I also understand that was an absolutely fantastic business move at the time, like a beautiful business move. Where are we? Oh, I'm gonna have to look up. Nikola. Oh, there we are. It just says Trevor Milton.
Mm-hmm. should pop.
Oh, that was okay. There we are. There's the video, baby. There's the man himself. So I suppose this is something we briefly spoke about before we actually went live. But I'd like to speak about how you played Nikola, like, cause how you actually played it from day one. Because I know you were here from the start.
Yeah. So it was like I said. It was. Here's actually how. In my Facebook group, I had found the Badger. This is before VTIQ, before Nikola. And when we were researching, up and coming, like you kind of try to search out and find private companies that could potentially go public. And this was before even the whole SPAC thing kind of blew up. So I found them and I threw it out to my Facebook group, right? And I said, keep this on your radar. Maybe this will one day go public. And then one of my Facebook group members, he sent me a DM. He said he told me that Vecto IQ, this company, is bringing the company that's building the Badger public. And I was like, whoa, cool, let me check it out. And I looked at it and I just did like basically what we just talked about. I was like, oh wow, it looks cool. Hype potential. It could possibly be something cool. All right, here, I'll buy some shares. Here, I invested that day. And then it went crazy. And so then that's really got me, that's how I began to research SPACs and figure out what they are. I didn't even know what SPAC stood for. So
I think it was probably one of your videos I saw that led me to understand what a SPAC was. So he's an OG. He's an OG.
So yeah, and then then I was like, actually, I saw that Trevor had done a interview with the channel. It had about 1,000 subscribers, some small, and it was a young kid, like 20-year-old kid. I think the guy he's got, yeah. Well, how old are you, Jack?
22.
Okay. This kid looked like he was 15. He was 20. So he, so I was like, you know what? Dang, if he'll go on that channel, I'm gonna reach out to him. And so that's how I did it. And so I wrote up this email and sent it, and I followed up with several times, and then it's like, yeah, cool, yeah, we'll set it up, and it was, and I was like, this is gonna be a great opportunity for my channel. I wasn't looking at it as I'm gonna I wasn't thinking about the way people comment on it. If you go to that video, there's some hilarious commentary on that video.
I bet. Let me get that up.
Now a lot of
people on YouTube love to comment. They absolutely love to comment.
Yeah, some savage stuff, and then they're like, oh, he fooled you. You're an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look. So here's what I did with Nikola. When it ran up to, I sold in increments. I sold some at like when I was 200% profits. Then I sold more at like 400%, and I sold. Yeah. And then after hours, when it hit 90, I sold I sold the rest, but I kept 5 shares, and I sold some at 600%, 400%, and like 200%. So I made a lot of money on that company.
You killed it, man. You killed it. I think that's a clear example of how stocks can be played. You know what I mean? You played the hype and you made a lot of money, and that's sick. And I mean, again, I think a lot of people don't understand, like us YouTubers, right? I mean, we're people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And this is our business, if we put it that way. This is a business move. I mean, getting somebody like this, having this title and the thumbnail that you had, that's a business move. Your biggest business move by far, and I think what puts you on the map for an awful lot of people, is another interview with a very well-known CEO, Thomas Healy. You know what I mean? But enough people, look at that, 47,000 views. I think that's more views than my most viewed video. That's tasty, but it means a lot to us having that.
See, that I would have probably not have gotten that interview if I didn't take on the Trevor Milton interview. So, and you could see like the Blink interview as well. So those came out of me interviewing, and it was like that in that video. Trevor was like, I'm the only guy that can out Elon. I bet that clip of that video, it was in like 40 Tesla channels. All of them took that, and like, so a lot of that too got me some exposure too. So
it's very true.
Bad pub is good pub, I guess, sometimes. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it was the same. I can attest to that. I mean, when I did my interview with Steve Schrader, CFO of Workhorse, from there, that caused Lordstown Motors to reach out to me. Since then, I actually have an interview coming out Monday of another EV stock. I'm not going to release it on stream because I want it to be a nice, exciting one. But what I will say is you're going to enjoy this one, Jmac. I know that you will enjoy this one. But
Okay.
it all comes together. You know what I mean? It really does. I mean, it's business at the end of the day. That's what we're here for, baby. That's what we're here for. But we had to bring up Nikola. But there's just an example, guys. If you can invest in a company like Nikola, I won't say anything in case they come and try to copyright my entire channel. But let's just say you can make money on them regardless of what kind of company that they are. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
exactly. No, go ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just trying to do the filler thing.
Yeah. And so, you know, that's the thing. You know, I moved on from Nikola, and I addressed it in a recent, I don't know which video it was. In the recent video, I covered it. It was the one where when the SPAC market sold off real big. I addressed this because a lot of people have been asking me, you know, about Trevor and my thoughts on that, because I hadn't done a video and everyone was wanting me to do a video, and I'm not gonna I don't give in to just I'm not gonna make a video just because you know, it's got to be something that I'm usually trying to make you know, videos on topics that I feel provide value, and I didn't feel like me making a video about what my thoughts now are on Nikola. I didn't feel like that would provide anyone very much value. So, but I got tons of comments about it. But at the same time, it's, you know, there's been other things that are way more valuable and more important than who cares about what happened to that guy. You know,
I get that, man. I get that, because again, this comes back to us being humans. You know, we're often seen as YouTubers, but we're just an everyday person at the end of the day. And I mean, we can't make a video on everything. You know, if we don't want to make a video, it's not going to come out well. It's like me with Nikola. I went a good few months without making a video, and then obviously when everything started coming out, I made one, but it didn't even really fit. It didn't do well because I didn't want to make the video. You know what I mean? Your videos come out a lot better when you really want to make them.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, but anyway, that's enough about Nikola. Nobody cares.
Okay, I just redeemed myself. It is Open Lending Corporation. So that's the one I was looking for earlier.
How do I spell this? Oh, ticker.
Ticker symbol is LPRO. This is the one that I think will mimic CCXX.
Yeah, I like to hear that. You've already lost because they've gone up. You know,
yeah, exactly. So most of their gains were post merger here. All of these are. Okay. So that's something right there. Like, and that's a SPAC. So everyone says, you know, there's not many SPACs that actually do well after post merger. Here's an example for you. It's up 166% since it merged, basically. Yep. Yeah. So there you go. There's an example for you of a good SPAC.
Redemption, baby. Okay, right. Now, one I'd love to speak about. My second biggest position, Diamond Peak Holdings, Lordstown Motors, baby. What are we thinking of these guys?
Oh, it's I mean, it's I rank all the SPACs, and I mean, this is in the top for sure, in the top 3 of my ranked SPACs. And it to me, I feel like it's got everything going for it, because I mean, not from a political standpoint, from the connections with GM, and then I mean, I honestly feel like, you know, they're just kind of just dipping their toe in the water right now but pre going public, because they're gonna. I mean, they got this whole compound of a facility to build. I mean, it's unbelievable, and that's the thing. So here you go. This is the way I lay it out to people. My bullish thesis on Lordstown is that you got Tesla that has huge, you know, manufacturing plants, or, you know, they're building a new one in Texas. They got China plant, and then they got California plant, and then you got the only other publicly traded company that has manufacturing is in the North America is Green Power Motor Company, a small bus company, and now public, right? Because Proterra is another bus company, but they're not public. So you got Tesla and you got Green Power, and then once Lordstown Motors comes public in North America, they're going to be the only one with their own manufacturing plant, assembly plant, however you want to word it. So in my opinion, and they're only targeting fleets right now. If
Yeah.
once they target like people like you and me selling trucks to people like you and me, I feel like it's gonna become a brand like Ford, Chevy, Lordstown Motors.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I believe that too. I mean, from day one, I've been so excited about these guys. I found out about them through Workhorse, and so I had already probably done a full analysis on these guys before they had gone public, just because I wanted to understand them inside out before Workhorse. Oh man, they just get me so excited every time I look at them. I made a video calling them the most undervalued EV stock. They were either $14 or $17 a share at the time, and then they boomed in value, and that felt good. But I still think this is one of the SPACs who have gone on an amazing run. And I still think we are at an absolutely beautiful long-term play. I don't know about you, but for me, these are a long-term hold without a doubt in my mind. I mean, they could hit $50 tomorrow. I wouldn't trim anything, quite literally. And there's very few companies I'd say that about, but I love these bad boys. Maybe I'm biased because of Workhorse and I interviewed the guys, but yeah, it is what it is.
Right. Yeah. So so when people ask my opinion, so that's why I'm. But yeah, and I mean the proof is in their numbers. I mean, so that's why like Workhorse is to me much more speculative, and don't really they really need that contract where this is they're getting orders at the wazoo, no issues, and these are only fleets buying up 100 to 1,000 trucks. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just amazing.
The fact they've done this already, it's nuts. I mean, I agree. Workhorse, I've said it so many times. I know I'm probably the biggest Workhorse bull on YouTube at this stage, but I mean, not a video goes by where I don't say they are extremely high risk. You know what I mean? Whereas when I look at Lordstown, I don't see that. I don't see the extreme high risk that I see with Workhorse. And I wouldn't be surprised like if I see one or two more extended red days, I'll buy again. And again, this is one I bought at 1180, and I also bought at 24 something off the back of this sell-off. You know what I mean? I want a bigger position in these bad boys.
But, yeah, me too. And I also did not jump on this one in the very beginning, and I missed some of it. But I've picked some spots, and I've added but I still want to get some more.
It's one of those ones. It's almost like a Tesla, where I feel like I'll be able to buy them for a very long time. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm in a massive rush. With Workhorse, there's a sense of urgency, but with these guys, I'm like, I'll just be able to dollar cost average over the coming months. But I see people asking, when's the merger date? We don't know. The last quarter of this year. Yeah, that's all we can tell you. So do you want to hear a date? I can't tell you. We better see you in Jmac's Discord. Jmac, hit me up after this. I'll get in your disc and I'll bring you into mine, brother.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I'm not reading the comments, guys, but I mean we're having a conversation. Towards the end of the stream, whenever that ends up being, we'll go through a few of your comments. But that's it. Again, apologies, a lot of these are EV related, but that's just me as a person. There's a couple I want to speak about TRNE, but before that, SBE. Ooh, what are we thinking about this one?
Oh yeah, no, I'm super bullish on this one, and this is another one like I disclaimed that. I mean, but I was actually I'm always looking for also I'm leery about getting into some of the like lithium plays, and I just don't know that kind of market is good enough to really and there's some that and they come and they run up like crazy. Some of these lithium stocks,
What's on PLL? I don't know. I don't have the slightest clue about PLL. I mean, I know they went up lots. I have nothing to tell you. You know what I mean?
That's right. Right. So this one I can understand the EV charging infrastructure, and that there's going to be a massive need for it. That's all I know about that. To me, that is because okay. Let me talk a little bit about this one real quick because there's actually a little bit of controversy about this one. So some people are of the mind that that battery tech is going to advance to this point where you won't need chargers as much because you can swap out batteries. And then I say, okay, yes, your head's kind of in the clouds when you're thinking that way because you're thinking disruptive tech, which is gonna happen, right? But the way the market works is the market has to work through it over the course of years. Right. So, what's going to happen is when massive technological breakthroughs happen in battery tech, who's going to get that? It's going to be the high end cars. It's going to be like your Mercedes EV, whatever you want to call it. Mercedes E class, EV class, or whatever. You know, it's going to be a $70,000-$80,000. So your best battery tech and your best new EV tech is not going to be in the cars that are hooking up to EV chargers at apartment complexes and parking garages. The people who are driving economical EV cars. So that's who ChargePoint's customer base is going to be. People driving economical EV cars, right? Okay. And they're going to hold on to them for 5 years. They're EV cars. They're not. So I think for 10 years, you don't have to worry about ChargePoint and the tech really messing with their revenue.
Okay, cool. So, right. Jason, right? I have a big favor to ask. Okay, I really need to go to the toilet because I've been drinking this Guinness. Could you entertain the 695 people in here for a minute, or else just promote yourself for 2 minutes while I'm gone?
No, I'll look over some comments.
yeah, cool. All right, I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys.
Yeah, take your time. Let's see. I see Bryce is in the building here. He was talking about hymns, and I see a lot of questions about PIC XL Fleet merger, which is one that I've kind of been down on, and the reason I'm not as excited about the XL Fleet, while I guess it would kind of maybe mirror what I just described about ChargePoint, in that yes, these hybrid versions are going to probably have some. They're going to have but I think the hybrid tech that XL Fleet is offering is going to have a little bit less of a lifespan. We're going to move fairly fast into fully EV. That's just happening, right? So a lot of your hybrid versions of vehicles, once we hit 300 plus mile ranges on an economical car, if you can get a car for $25K or less, I don't see where the hybrid, where a fleet is going to adopt putting the XL Fleet hybrid tech on their vehicle. They'll just scrap their vehicles and sell them, and they'll buy a fleet of trucks that are EV, fully EV. So, but and this one is one, though. XL Fleet is one that you could probably just ride the hype as well, and it'll probably pop at merger. So I'm not fully against XL Fleet. It's just one that I think is sort of like a little bit behind, because the tech's a little bit behind. John J in the building, Market Scraper. What's up, man? Good to see you. Tesla 25K. Yeah, see, stuff like that. So Market Scraper, who also covers a lot of SPACs and has a good channel. So yeah, with Tesla when you start seeing some cars enter, some passenger vehicles for 25K, people are going to begin to buy EV cars rather, so I think your hybrids are going to go away. That's just my main thing. Rico Suave investing in the building. What's up, man? Tattoo Chef. Everyone's wondering about Tattoo Chef. It's always been my favorite behind Hyliion because of just their balance sheet. It's amazing. It's incredible. They're going to be your next Beyond Meat type of company. So, and they've got their merger date set. So be ready for that.
I don't even need to be here. I mean, I leave and we're up in the viewers. I should just leave with you, bro. Yeah, I had to grab myself an extra cheeky can of Guinness as well. But I suppose one thing, actually, I haven't done any research yet, my friend. MCAC. Have you seen these guys yet?
Who are they merging with? Remind me.
Playboy.
Oh, yeah. There was a couple. We called it we were calling it Horny Friday because I guess hims and hers, which is like a male enhancement or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jays. I mean, this has nothing to do with Playboy.
No, there's seriously two SPACs that are kind of risque dropped on Friday. So, but no, I mean. I'm not interested in that one because I mean, what does Playboy offer these days? I don't understand the business model anymore. So
I haven't heard of these guys since I was a kid. I mean, what are they doing going public now, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how did they even get on the scene? I don't understand.
Why is it a SPAC as well? I mean, what do these guys need out of a SPAC?
Yeah, I guess when stuff like we may be entering bubble territory now. I don't know.
But yeah, MCAC interview with the bunnies. Yeah, I'll reach out to the bunnies. I'll see if I can make that happen. That would definitely get the clicks. It might not get monetized well, but it would get the clicks. Yeah, but I had to bring that one up. I haven't done this even 4 minutes of research, but it's been all over my Discord as well. I think it's just because of the fact they literally is Playboy, but
yeah, it's silly. Yeah,
it's pretty nuts. Before I ask you about another SPAC or two, is there anything you'd like to speak about? Is there any SPACs on the radar that you think might be flying low?
Let me look at my tracker. You know what? I did tell you that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about just Ireland in general. I wanted to.
Yeah, we can just have a chat now. I mean, we've spoke about stocks for 55 minutes nonstop, but the brain needs a little break, maybe.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me do something real quick. Let me grab a beer.
You got to join in. Right, guys, now is your chance for me to read your comments. Jeez, there is nothing but ticker symbols. We're going to go through more SPACs, don't worry. That's why I had to go ahead and get another Guinness.
So, he's got
he's back.
Got a local one.
This man must have a mini fridge in his room. He's living the dream.
I do.
I have to go all the way downstairs. I clearly haven't made it in life yet. You know, I'm still a little while away from the mini fridge life.
Actually, yeah, Mike the SPAC hunter. He's changed his name recently. That's a good one. Open Door, which Kathy Woods has started to buy.
Yes.
ARK Invest over there. Very disruptive, probably company there is going to be.
I'm interested in this one because I haven't had the chance to do enough research yet. By the time I had looked at them, we were about here at 15, and I had saw this movement. I was like, geez. But yeah, they look exciting. And whenever I see Kathy Wood getting involved in something, I mean, I have a lot of respect for her, so it definitely did pique my interest.
Yep. Life of Smack, he does, yeah. So yeah, man. So where you at in Ireland, and what's going on over there? How's the with everything going on with the pandemic? Yeah. How's life there?
Ireland's okay, man. I mean, we're a pretty small place, so it's been okay. Pretty much, it's pretty chill. There's a few counties that's our equivalent of state, I suppose. Even though one of our counties is like the size of a billionth of a state over there, but we've been fine. A few of them have occasionally had to go into a level 3 lockdown. Dublin, our capital, is in level 3 lockdown right now. But it's still, everything's open. There's pretty much no difference. You know, the rates have gone up the last few days in particular, but it's not been crazy. It's been all right. You know what I mean? I mean, you feel safe walking around in public, especially if you have your mask on. You know what I mean? It's been fine.
Now, is there a lot of investors in Ireland there? They invest in the U.S. stock market?
To be honest, man, not a lot. There's two people I know who are investors. One of them's actually my cousin, and she's been in hedge funds in London, and now she's back in Dublin. And then the other one I was a personal trainer before I went full-time on YouTube, and I coached a financial advisor. So he was one guy I'd spoken to an awful lot. But aside from that, except for a few people who, pretty much got into it because of me, like, messaged me, they're still playing around, they're just getting into it. But not a lot, man. It's not a big scene right now, and I wish it was bigger, and I do want to raise awareness, but yeah. Now maybe that's because as well I'm 22, you know what I mean? Of a young crew around me. Maybe a lot of the older people are, but I mean, even the majority of my family who would be older that I know would have never really played around investing whatsoever. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah. So they're talking about one of my SPACs I want to talk about, but I want to stay on this for a second. So
yeah, we'll get there.
Do you get recognized already over there? Because you said it's a small area. Are people already recognizing you from YouTube?
Mean, maybe if I left the house more often. It was actually funny. I went to Dublin last week. My girlfriend had to do a course. She's an apprentice hairdresser, so I said I'd go up with her so she didn't have to do it alone. And I got a message off a guy. He could well be watching it right now, and he actually owns like a local business. So he came and dropped off a package. I shared it on my story and stuff, and I got about about 30 messages from people telling me they were less than 5 minutes away asking to meet up. And I was just like, this is crazy. I mean, I would love to meet up with all of you, but for one, we're in a worldwide pandemic. It's not the ideal time for a meetup. But yeah, I don't necessarily get noticed, but to be honest, I don't leave very often. I go to the shops and that's about it, I'm actually going away tomorrow for the first time in such a long time properly. I'm taking a day off YouTube. Now I say that, but I have a video ready to go up and I have a video ready for the next day. But I'm going away with a girlfriend. I'm just going to completely take my mind off things because, man, since I've started on here, I have not stopped. And I mean, last week we uploaded something like 16 videos and it's just been crazy. So that's including live streams, but I need my brain needs to stop for just a few minutes.
Right,
you know what I mean? All I do is look at these juicy stocks.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. I figured being, if it's a smaller area and then you're approaching 50K subs, so we should probably start to get noticed a little bit.
Yeah, I reckon if I did go to like Dublin or something, I probably would. I hate saying that because it sounds a little bit weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I probably would see someone who knows me. But I know I could definitely make fan meetups. I've had so many people asking for fan meetups in Dublin. And even in my Discord, when I said I might go to America next year, to Cali or something like that, a lot of people would pop up and say we should have a meetup. So I plan on seeing a lot of America once the Roni's gone. So hopefully we'll get to actually meet a lot of people who watch the videos because I think that's such a cool thing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But what about you? Where exactly are you from?
So I live in Charlotte, North Carolina area, which is the East Coast, kind of. It's near Appalachian Mountains.
Cool.
So pretty nice. But the East Coast, U.S.
East Coast, baby. No, I really want to go to now. I tell you where I really want to go next year, Ohio, because I want to go to Lordstown Motors and Workhorse. So
but you could go up there. You could go to like Niagara Falls. Wouldn't be far from that either. So you can see a little bit.
Yeah, no, I do. I want to see a lot of it, and that's the cool thing about YouTube as well. Because obviously I'm full time now, so it's like I can do this job from anywhere, which is crazy to me. Like when I went away with the girlfriend for 2 days, I double uploaded both of those days and I was just in the middle of a hotel room. And then everybody blamed the EV market crash on me because I wasn't at home. And everybody said that I was starving Brian, so that's why the market crashed. But I don't think it really was my opinion. I don't think it was because of me, to be honest.
Yeah, that's funny. I've actually had to slow down on uploads because of the growth of the Patreon. So that's but if I was full time, I'd definitely crank out more content. But
yeah, you see, I'm lucky as well. Like, you know what I mean? We spoke about this briefly before we started. Obviously, I am full time on here now, but I mean, this is all I do. You know what I mean? I'm not studying anything. I don't work anywhere else. I just gave it everything. I'm fortunate to be in that position because, as we said earlier on, I'm 22. I have very little responsibility. We live in this crazy world where, for some reason, you can post videos online if you do a bit of work and you make money. Patreons assemble. If you're from my Patreon, drop a comment saying Jack's Patreon. If you're from Jmac, drop Jmac's Patreon. I don't want to be embarrassed here, guys.
It might be a mix. Some of these guys I think are in yours too. That are in mine are in yours too. So
yeah, there probably is. There probably is.
Yeah, it might be a mixture. So they were saying there was up there when they were saying don't tell people about Kell, Kell. It's a SPAC with no target yet, but it's they haven't got a company yet. It's I'm sorry, not K. I said that in my video.
Kellogg's are a company, my friend.
QELL. I said it in my video too. I spelled it wrong.
I'm not finding it.
No, it's brand new. It just hit the market.
Okay.
There you go. It's only units. It's units right now too.
Okay, this is a hidden secret.
Yeah, hidden secret. So see, they don't want me to talk. They don't want me to talk about it. But it's so you got he's like the executive vice president of the GM of America, of the Americas, plural.
Okay.
And he's been like several executive positions in GM. So that's the CEO of the SPAC. And then on the board, they have the Proterra co-founder.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so I see where this is going. Is it to do with Proterra, I assume?
Possibly.
Yeah, obviously, potentially at this stage. Yeah, we don't know.
It's probably going to be a good EV play. In other words. So this is
That's
one that I don't a lot of times invest into SPACs that don't have a target. But some of my strategies changing as well, and this is one that I'm probably taking on. Because it could be, it just dropped, so this could be 2 years out. This could be 2 years before they find a target. But me personally, and a lot of people that are speculating on this one think it'll be pretty quick because of the quality of the board that they have, the leadership. So that's one if you want to. And it's like
rush too,
right. And if you're scared about the market, crashing, you could put, some like let's say you wanted to pull 20% out of, and having cash, you could put in something like this, and it's a way to hedge cash too.
That's what I said to people about. Well, I didn't say to people. I said it in my private Discord again with CCXX. I was like, man, we can speak about this actually, but I'm a very cash heavy investor. Once I realized that I love risk, and I really just love risk, and I love the high reward potential. And I was like, I'm sitting right now on about 50% cash. I was like, why am I doing that when there's a 990 SPAC here that I believe could be worth a whole lot more in literally a few months? You know what I mean? What's your stance actually? Do you remain quite cash heavier?
Not that heavy, but more 10 or 15%. And I'd like to get it to about 20% in these types of plays where it's hedged into. There's a few that I have that are in other words, like even like Shamath Palahapitiya. All of his SPACs, once they hit and become units, you could just put money there, and you'd be pretty smart to do that. And then if you could use it like cash and sell off some to buy something else. But that's where I'm saying my strategy is evolving. So I think I want to get about 20% of my portfolio into SPACs that are around $10 with no target. So that's something new.
I like that though. I like that because I think a lot of people are very set in their ways with investing. And I mean, when you speak to a very established investor, a lot of time, all they're going to listen to is growth, dividends, and value. And they don't really acknowledge subcategories and all of those. And they don't acknowledge individuals like me or you who may have different strategies. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm an extremely high risk investor, but I'm also extremely cash heavy. So worst case scenario, I have a lot of cash to unload at any time. Like I was lucky enough 2 weeks ago to unload into Lordstown Motors and Workhorse when we saw the 20+% dip. You know what I mean? So that's a big part of my strategy. But then you're creating your own strategy. I would assume very little people follow you trying to get about 20% of that portfolio into $10 SPAC. So worst case scenario, when it comes to voting time, you just say, give me back my $10. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. If it's something you don't like, you could just cash out,
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, right. So let's speak for something that's not EV. TRNE. What do we think about these bad boys?
Yeah, I mean, I this is one that I didn't think would be. I thought it would not sell off like it did, honestly, because it's kind of a disruptive. This is a disruptive company with disruptive technology, so this is a good one right now as well. This is one that I'm considering also. Going a lot heavier on. I am invested into it. I like it. I like Desktop Metal. I did this one also. A lot of people are speculating that Kathy Wood would potentially move out of X1 or whatever the other one she's in. This is going to be the leader. This is going to be the leader of Desktop.
That's what I thought. And this is sexy. Like, this is, to us growth stock investors and us SPAC investors, this is a sexy company. And I'm actually quite surprised at what market sentiment has said about these guys, because I was the same, man. I mean, when I see us in the tens, I'm like, it's going to be very hard to not unload that cash position, especially when I'm very heavy in cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I was honestly I thought this initial run-up was underwhelming. You know what I mean? Never mind what happened since.
I thought it was going to 15 at least,
Me too. I thought it was going to be one of those ones. And SPACs seem to have these prices they like to hit. They like to go to 12, 15, or 18. You know what I mean? Within a very short period of time. And I was like, how is this one of the 12s? I mean, it ticks the boxes. It's sexy. It's established. We can see growth prospects 1 year down the line and also 5 years down the line. It ticks the boxes.
Yep. Yeah, I'm confused on it, but hey, it's another one. If you missed it in the before it popped up,
Yeah.
I mean, get in now. I mean,
Yeah.
this is, I'm still very bullish on this one long term as well.
Yeah. I think we're at beautiful prices. I mean, we're lucky to be able to get in now. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
So outside of SPACs, because obviously you're the SPAC man, I assume you're probably invested in companies that aren't SPACs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I still have a dividend growth portfolio as well, and I still contribute. I back down my contributions into that considerably, but I do contribute to it weekly. And I also recalibrated it to where I'm about 30% tech in my dividend growth portfolio. So it's Apple, Microsoft,
dividend.
Broadcom, Intel. They're still dividend growth companies, but they still have the potential to be growth companies as well.
Yes. I like that. I like that strategy a lot, in all honesty.
Yeah, really kind of. So basically, anything retail, I got rid of all of those.
Yes.
So
yes, very fair. Very, very fair.
Yeah,
a company that was a SPAC at one stage of life, Virgin Galactic. I'm interested. So now this was a SPAC before a lot of us got onto SPACs. It was a SPAC before Nikola. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, have you ever looked at these guys? You have any interest in them? Any thoughts on them?
Yeah, I mean, I did actually play these, swing traded these, this company a couple times, and but I haven't really followed it as closely as a lot of people. Which I know they've made deals with NASA, and there's some good stuff here. But this one is a very pre-revenue, like long term hold kind of a company. So I think this one you could get in and out within, over the course of a couple years. You could. So these are the kind of companies. If this were SPACing now, I would play it on the merger and probably sell out of all my position, and then if I really wanted to get back in, I get back in later.
Yeah, I get you. So you run away off the initial hype. Once hype's gone, you get back in.
Yeah.
Because I like them. They're right up my street, though. You know what I mean? They're literally the definition of high risk, high reward. You know what I mean? So I enjoy them. I do enjoy them. I do fear for some people who don't really understand them, but I enjoy them personally, and that's the main thing. You know what I mean? But October is going to be a big month for us. I don't know if you know about the test flights, but we're going to be getting that much closer to FAA approval, and as early as the first quarter of next year, Richard Branson could be going to space if all goes to plan, baby.
Yeah, I'll probably play that once that get announced. It'll run up for a couple months on that.
Yeah,
yeah. So you are invested into that one.
Yeah, it's turning into a decent position for me. It's nothing crazy yet. I was building it over these last couple of weeks here. I was calling it a good buy under 17, a great under 15. So now that we're at 2077 again, it's kind of at that stage where I have to think, it's this volatile. It could well crash back down to sub 15 very easily, especially if October doesn't go to plan. But I built an okay position. I'm somewhat happy where I am, but I'm long on these guys. It's not a swing or anything to me right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm invested into Tesla as well.
Tesla, okay, that's one worth speaking about. That's definitely one worth speaking about. So, how long are you in Tesla? I'm always interested when I speak with people because I feel like everybody has a much better cost basis than I do.
No, I have a bit of a history with Tesla. I was a Tesla hater, and then I just and a lot of it was because I was upset that I missed it, and so I think I got in pre-split at like 1390.
Okay.
So I was high. It's kind of high, But I'm still up 60% right now. I think it's pretty crazy.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the power of Tesla. I was the same, man. I was watching them for so long. I mean, I was so heavily contemplating investing here in May and June. I still remember talking with a few of my friends when I was first getting into investing about them, and that was all the way back here somewhere. You know what I mean? I was like, no, they're too speculative. This was before I really learned to evaluate companies. I suppose I was like, no, this was when I was a dividend investor. I was like, too speculative. Anything could happen.
And that's the thing. I was a dividend growth investor, so that's the thing. I joke on it now. I say you can't use growth grandpa metrics,
Yeah,
grandpa stock metrics on growth stocks, because you really can't.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
PE means nothing on a
literally.
company that's growing 120% per year or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I think I'm one of the people as well who I look at very little metrics. I mean, when it comes to these growth stocks, I mean, I love investing in a company, and I know that's something that even dividend investors say you're investing in a company. But I think it's more so when you're investing in a growth stock or somebody at a particularly important stage of their life, regardless of whether they're a year old or 20 years old. If they're at an important stage of life where a short term catalyst is coming that's going to lead to many long term catalysts, that's where I really like getting involved. You know what I mean?
right? Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've got a channel that I enjoy who doesn't get a lot of love. Is the channel is Building Freedom. He's out of the Norwegian country, but he's a trend investor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Building Freedom. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right there. Yep.
Shout out Building
there you
Freedom. I'll
That's
reach out
right.
to you too, bro. I'll give you a sub. I'm a nice guy.
He's a good guy. He's a good investor. So trend investing is something. Yeah, I mean, like you can literally just play trends, and you can as they cycle through the market. I mean, if you just play trends, you can make tons of money. So
Yeah.
But there's some trends that are going to take hold and be long term, and EV is one of them. So I think we're really early into this EV trend cycle. You know what I mean? So where a lot of people think it's a bubble, okay, good luck. Go ahead and sell off then, and we'll benefit.
Yeah. It's and there's this everything's a bubble now. You know what I mean? If an industry's going up, everybody's so quick to call it a bubble, and I'm like, what does that even mean? I mean, you can't just call everything a bubble forever. You know what I mean? When you're going to actually buy a company, you didn't buy during March, you're not buying now. When do you want to buy a company?
Right, they call it the ETF bubble. I mean, well, that's what everyone does now. I mean, you got all of these people putting their money, they investing into retirement accounts, and what do you think? Where do you think it goes?
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, everybody's worried about a .com bubble. I'll tell you what, we've been chatting so long. Let's see if we can get some good comments in here. I'm sorry I haven't read the comments as I normally do. Anybody have any questions for myself or Jmac, or preferably both of us? A conversation topic. I will read them for at least a minute or two now before a new one comes up. Oh, Dividend Bloodhound Investing is in here. I know you have a YouTube channel, brother. Hope everything's going well. It's a money bubble. Yeah, it's a money bubble. You know what I mean? Everybody has too much money. Well, I suppose, yeah, the Fed has pumped a lot of money.
I guess there's a lot of people talking about Palantir, PLTR. You got any thoughts on Palantir?
Me personally, I mean, I made a video on them a while ago, and I thought they were a cool company. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know enough about them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's really hard to understand them and the industry. Like, incredibly difficult, because who can you even compare them to? What history can you compare them to? I don't really like investing in what I don't understand. I mean, I'm willing to take risks sometimes, and I do think, honestly, Palantir could well shoot up in value literally any day off the slightest piece of news.
I mean, what do you got to lose? It's almost like a SPAC right now, 920.
Exactly, definitely. And I have definitely contemplated putting my money in there, but I'm not too pushed. I'm not too pushed in all honesty. Have you had a look at them?
Yeah. So, I mean, not a very, very in depth, because in my Discord we have Rico Suave Investing. He covers traditional IPOs, and I cover the SPACs. So I got a channel for him, and he always he's got like a IPO tracker. So usually he gets all the IPO questions, and I get all the SPAC questions. And so, but this one, I have done a little bit of research, and it's like, I'm like you, because he's, the CEO is like, we build the software that people are gonna use in the future, but we build it before then. I'm like, I don't understand that. What do you mean? How do you know 10 years in advance the software that's going to be used? And like, so who's paying you for that? As well. Exactly. So that's the one thing that's questionable is, will they have clients for software that they build? I don't know. So
yeah, and it's like they obviously work so closely with the government, but I mean, they're known for being so secretive. I mean, what's going to happen out there public? What's our first quarterly earnings call going to look like? What's going to be announced? You know what I mean? I think I'd feel a lot more confident deciding to invest in them if I knew what all that looked like.
Right. So for me, I did take a small position, and I think I'm gonna probably going to get it to like 50 shares, and then I'm just going to. Like it'll be one that I wouldn't mind. It'll be $500 or so, and I just won't never look at it, and maybe it becomes 500, becomes 5,000 one day. You know.
Yeah. And I do see that as a possibility. I do. I think it could have immense potential, but it's so hard to value it right now. Like incredibly difficult to value it right now. But I do see it as worth a punt, and I'd be in a similar position. I'd maybe willing to throw 2% of my portfolio into it, and then have the option to dollar cost average or just sell if things go wrong. But yeah,
exactly. And like you said, it's one of the few IPOs that came out and didn't go 50, 60, 75% over what it was supposed to be listed at. It actually listed at what it was gonna list at. So
like, let's remember Snow. Oh, it's not Snow. What's that ticker symbol for Snow?
Should be Snow. Yeah, it should be.
Why does it show me AMS Snow? Like what? That's obviously not what I want. Snowflake, here we are. Like, remember that? I remember that Snowflake IPO because everybody in my Discord was going crazy, and it just kept going up.
Well, for months, you get that. You probably get that comment. Will you cover? You going to cover Snow? You going to cover Snow?
I actually never did. I don't know why. No, I actually never did. I should have because they were so trending. I was probably just busy at that time. I was probably doing my 1400th hour of research into Workhorse.
Well, check it out. So the Rico Suave, he tracks these. This one was supposed to list at $100.
Yeah.
So
there we are. That was a nice first day. Yeah, no, I can't say at these prices I have any interest in Snow, in all honesty. Cloud-based. I don't know enough about the industry again. I don't know enough about most industries. I think that's the thing about being a growth investor as well, is you really have to understand what you're investing in. And I think that's why I got so interested in EV off the bat, because it was just one industry I put so much time and effort into. So now if I see something else, I'm like, I don't know near enough about this as I do about EV. You know what I mean? If I see a cloud-based company come out, I don't know enough about the industry as a whole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that is I'm a software developer. Ooh. And there's still only certain niches of software that I understand. I don't understand like security stuff and stuff like that. Yeah. So the cloud is really hard. It can be difficult to, even for someone in the industry, because So like I'm familiar with when JFrog, when that dropped, I'm like, I want to get into that because I understand what they do. But then some other stuff, like Datadog, I don't know, anything about them. So so it's a broad
it's massive. It's a massive industry.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's cloud for everything, now. Yeah. So
I think it's something that we need. I need to research more, because I do see it as being a massive, and I mean truly massive industry going forwards. But it's just, there's only so much time in the day. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like you need a full team to be able to research the market.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
Wait, I see a few people asking you, did you ride Nikola all the way up? I think you said earlier you did, pretty much.
Yeah, well, and I incrementally sold, so I sold it. Took some off the table, at like 150%. And I sold more at like 350. I think the most I made on anything was like 600%. So I was pretty happy. Is
that all?
Yeah.
600%, man. Jeez. And that must have literally been in the span of a couple of weeks.
Well, I held for the whole time. Like I held through the crash and everything in March. So I guess I held for 4 months. I guess 4 to 6 months. Like if you had to go year to date.
Yeah,
It was that pop, the initial pop in March, way back. Keep going back there. That's when it was announced. Yeah.
Jeez.
I bought then and held all the way. Yeah.
This is why we're speaking with the SPAC man, guys. I mean, most of us didn't even know this. Most of us look at this bump and think, "What was that? Why does that bump exist?"
That was the announcement. That's what it looks like these days. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what Hyliion will look like eventually. You know what I mean?
yeah. I hope so. Well, hopefully, it just looks like this bit. Let's just
And
forget
keep
about
going.
this bit. Yeah, we just wanted to keep going up. He's been pumping Nikola. Jmac never pumped Nikola, or either did I. I mean, nobody. I don't think anybody pumped Nikola, to be honest. Literally, we all spoke about it. I don't think anybody spoke too kindly of it. No truck, no money.
Yeah, see, some of these, like this guy saying he's been pumping Nikola. These are the ones that go back and watch that, the Trevor Milton video. So that's old. That's old.
It's a business move. It's subscribers. You know what I mean? This is our business, baby. Give Jmac a sub. Yeah, guys, please do. If you're still in here, we're still on 630 viewers. If you're still here, go check out Jmac channel. It's in the description. Hopefully I got the right link. Yeah, but check them out, guys. And also, please hit that juicy like button if you haven't yet. I don't even know. I'm sorry I haven't even checked. 200 likes, 700 views. Appreciate you, boys.
Oh, yeah. What do you usually get on a live stream?
I've only done like 4. We peaked out on our first one. I think it was 1,200. And then from there, it's pretty much been, about 600 to 1,000, but most of them have ended after an hour, and we're nearly an hour and a half live. What? That has flown by. Do you have anything to do today? You busy?
Well, I usually actually watch football on Sundays, and so I DVR'd my game. So don't nobody tell me
nobody say anything.
Of my I won't even say my team well. So it's on my shirt. So so I DVR'd that game, and I'm gonna watch that after this. Well, and
I won't keep you much longer, man, because we've been on here very long. But I do see a few people asking about pick.
Yeah, when you went to the restroom, I talked about it, but I guess maybe they weren't here. But like I said, I think you did a video on it too. I don't remember what your final assessment was, but to me, it's like, I think I don't know that hybrid technology has a very long lifespan. I think we're going to full EV. That's what that's basically what I said while you're away, and that's why I'm not as. This one could get pumped, during the merger. You could probably make money on this one. Yeah. It's just not one that I'm very interested in, because I think we're gonna like I was saying, once you get like $25,000 economical EVs.
Yeah. What's the purpose in this in class 2 to 6 vehicles?
Who's going to bolt on a hybrid technology to save 20% gas when you can go to no gas, for $25,000?
Exactly. That was pretty much what I thought. I just didn't think there was a sustainable market in the class 2 to 6 vehicles for something like this. I mean, I'm investing in EV. I mean, I know this is fine, but it's not of interest to me long. I'll put it that way.
And then Hyliion has the class 8 trucks on. They're going to be the first mover advantage. And I know these guys, and that's the other thing with this company, XL Fleet. It was like they say they want to cover the whole market from class 2 to 8. Like
they
how you gonna do
that? Yeah. I mean, at this stage, I think me and you both expect that Hyliion is going to have a very big market share of those class 8 vehicles, regardless of whoever else comes into the market. We have first mover advantage. I think it's been established over the last even 6 months to a year how important that is. Tesla has proven that to literally everybody. I don't see how Pick could ever even really penetrate that market at a serious level. And I mean, again, at $11, I could see you guys making money, short and long term, 100%. But I mean, I just think there's much better places for money, and this is from the perspective of somebody who loves growth, who loves EV, and who loves SPACs, and that ticks the boxes, but it doesn't take them hard enough. That's the way I'll put these guys, in my opinion.
Right, because you got like Christopher Kang right there says XL Fleet is also currently making all EV chassis and equipment, but again, why would you bolt on and turn? Yeah. Why would you convert your vehicle to EV when you can, like, literally, like these fleets, especially fleets. It's a tax write-off for them to replace vehicles. And let's say they come out with the EV, a fully electrified version that you can bolt on. Okay, let's say they do that. and then it's obviously they said their hybrid versions are like $11,000 or $12,000. You know, the fully electrified is going to be 20 grand or so. So if they're gonna if a fleet is going to dump 20 grand, I'll pose the question: would a fleet dump 20 grand to electrify their fleet, or would they just sell those trucks and then buy EVs? You know, Lordstown motor for 52 grand, and it's all a tax write off for a company for a fleet. So
I mean, if like this is from the perspective of somebody, as I said, Lordstown Motors is my second biggest position. I mean, if you ask me if I'm putting my money in PIC or if I'm putting my money in Lordstown Motors, it's a very obvious decision in my eyes. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Again, people probably will make good money off these guys, but it's of no interest to me. You know what I mean?
And there you go. And Ben said it as well, because their main truck right now is the F-150. That's the one that they have available right now.
Yes.
And Ford just announced they're going to be making electric F-150s.
Yeah.
Again, everything XL Fleet's doing is getting stomped out by EVs.
If Ford survives more than 2 years.
Yeah, true.
You know, I know. In all honesty, I do hope Ford does okay, even if it's not in Workhorse's best interest. Ford is it's such an iconic name, but yeah, they're not in the best position I've seen in my life. I'll put it that way.
Well, I think their Mustang is going to do well. So
that's the thing, though. They have a lot of brand loyalty, and I mean they have a lot of good products. Just the way things have been handled, the way debt's been handled in particular as of late doesn't look the juiciest.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
That's the only thing I'd say about them boys. But I think we've been live an hour and a half, man. I'm getting tired myself. We've gone through the large majority of SPACs that are of interest in the YouTube world. Is there anything you'd like to share with the people? Or I suppose I have your YouTube in the description.
Just subscribe, and maybe at some point I'll get Jack on, and maybe we could do like a EV type of round robin with a couple of different YouTubers. Get together some people that the people want to see. So but I appreciate you having me on. I mean, I think we hooked up on off of the live stream, right? One of these live streams I think we hooked up on. So it's been cool, man.
We'll definitely do it again. As I said, I'll definitely pop over the Orange channel soon, regardless of who else is over there. We'll have a chat about some things. But that was awesome. Genuinely, a lot of good, juicy information there. And that was all live as well. I mean, if you were asking me those questions live, I'd be like, just give me 10 minutes and let me just refresh my brain. So that's awesome. Very knowledgeable man. But again, guys, if you're still watching at this stage, the link is in the description. Subscribe to the man Jmac. He's an awesome guy. Really awesome guy. But thank you all for watching, my friends. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I will see you for another video tomorrow. Have a good one, my friends.
Enjoy your Sunday.